24 Gurus of Guru Dattatreya. Once the great king Yadu saw Guru Dattatreya wandering in the forest, contented and in a state of bliss. The king, with great humbleness, asked the sage the secret of his happiness and the name of his Guru. He asked the sage that although he looked so capable and wise, why did he choose to live in the forest? The king further asked, "You do not have a family nor any loved ones. How could you be so blissful and self contented?" Guru Dattatreya replied, "My bliss and contentment are the fruits of my self realization. Soul alone is my Guru. Yet I have gained the necessary wisdom from the whole creation through 24 observations, who are therefore my Gurus." These can be the spiritual gurus for all those who wish to go on the path of spiritual progress. Let me tell you about all my 24 gurus. Mother Earth. All creatures live on earth. I observe that people plow, dig, and tread the earth. They light fires on it. Still, the earth does not change its course around the sun. On the other hand, it feeds and shelters all creatures. Seeing this, I learned that a person should single-mindedly follow one's path under any circumstances. One should dedicate one's life for the welfare of living beings. Mother Earth is hence my first Guru. Air. I observe that by itself, air is pure and odorless. It takes on both sweet and foul-smelling things without any discrimination. Though it momentarily seems to take on the smell of its surroundings, in a short while it reveals its pristine quality. From this, I learned that one should live in the world unaffected by dualities of life like joy and sorrow. Air is my second Guru. Sky. I have observed that at times the sky gets overcast or filled with dust. At dawn and twilight, it takes on different colors. But in fact, it is colorless. It is never stained by anything. From this, I learned that a person should remain pure like the sky. Thus, I accepted the sky as my third Guru. Sun. I observe that the reflections of the sun vary in different objects. Its reflection in a vessel is different from, say, a reflection in a stream. The actual sun, however, is one and undivided. That teaches us that the Supreme Self is one but is reflected in various physical entities. Further, the sun evaporates water and it returns water back to earth in the form of rain without any attachment. Similarly, a person can accept material things, but at an appropriate time, these should be given back without getting attached to them. Thus, sun is my fourth Guru. Moon. I observed that the moon appears to go through changes during waxing and waning, although the core of it remains the same. It is like the self of the man. While a person appears to pass through the stages of infancy, childhood, youth, maturity, and old age, the real self remains unchanged. All changes pertain only to body and not to the soul. Hence, the moon is my fifth Guru. Ocean. I observed that despite the number of rivers flowing in the ocean, it maintains its level. Even if rivers dry up in summer, the ocean level remains the same. Similarly, a person should be in state of calmness. The joys of life should not excite one, nor should sorrows depress one. The ocean is my sixth Guru. Fire. I observed that the fire transforms various things it consumes into ash. Similarly, self-realization means rejecting several forms such as rich, poor, old, young, high, low, etc., and accepting the one original essence as the soul. Hence, fire is my seventh Guru. Water. That water quenches the thirst of every creature is a common observation. It is not filled with pride as it naturally seeks the lowest of all places. One should likewise be a cause of health, peace, and joy to every creature. One should live as the humblest of God's creation. Water is my eighth Guru. Pigeon. I observed a pair of pigeons living together on a tree. They loved each other very much. They took good care of their babies. Once, when they had gone to fetch food, a hunter came and caught the young ones in his net. The mother bird, on return from the forest, saw their plight and leapt in the net to free them, but ended up getting caught. The male pigeon too repeated the act and ended up getting caught. Reflecting on this, I realized that when a soul enters a body, it starts identifying itself with the body. The soul is then caught in the endless cycle of birth and death. However, the soul is free and should be seen in a spiritual light. The pigeons were my ninth Guru. Python. I observed that a python is slow and unwilling to move quickly for its prey. It lies in lurch and devours whichever creature that comes its way. This is enough to fulfill its hunger. From this, I learned that a person in search of spiritual progress should refrain from running after pleasures and accept whatever one gets with contentment. The python is my tenth Guru. Moth. A moth is tempted by fire to jump in it and hence gets burnt. The unthinking person is tempted by the pleasures of the senses and gets caught in the endless cycle of life and death. When a wise person sees the fire of wisdom, the person leaves aside everything, leaps in it, and burns down the illusion of physical self. The moth is my 11th Guru. Honeybee. A honeybee flies from flower to flower to collect honey without hurting the flower. Similarly, a person who studies knowledge from scriptures should retain only that which is essential for spiritual progress. The honeybee is my 12th Guru. Elephant. Male elephants typically get trapped by the hunter by a method of creating an illusion of female elephant. Similarly, a person can be tempted by the opposite gender to fall in a trap and repent. A person on a spiritual path should rid oneself of lust. Elephant is my 13th Guru. Ant. The ant stores a lot of food. It neither eats it nor gives it away. Consequently, other creatures are tempted to steal that food. Similarly, a person who accumulates treasures could become a victim of robbery. The ant has something positive to teach us too. It is a tireless worker and is never discouraged by obstacles in its efforts to gather food. Similarly, a person seeking spiritual progress should be tireless in one's effort for self-realization. An ant is my 14th Guru. Fish. The fish greedily swallows the bait and is caught by the hook. From this, I realized how a person comes to grief by gluttony. The fish is my 15th Guru. Deer. A deer is trapped by a hunter through its love for music. Similarly, secular music will sooner or later make a person lose whatever spiritual progress one has attained. The deer is my 16th Guru. Hawk. One day I observed a hawk with a dead rat in its beak. Soon, other birds like crows were attacking it and trying to knock off the prey. The hawk was thoroughly pestered. At last, wisely, it let the prey slip off. All other birds rushed after it, and the hawk was relieved. From this, I learned that a person who seeks worldly pleasures will soon come into conflict with his fellow beings. This will lead to resentment. A person should learn to conquer one's cravings for worldly things so as to avoid unhappiness. The hawk is my 17th Guru. Snake. A snake sheds its old skin after a given time and gets a newer one. It resembles the phenomenon of death. A wise person is never afraid of death. The person knows that sooner or later one gets a new life based on one's karmic actions. The snake is my 18th Guru. Spider. A spider builds a beautiful web and plays in it. After some time, it swallows that same web. Similarly, God follows the roles of a creator, preserver, and destroyer. The spider is my 19th Guru. A child. A child is free of ego and arrogance. A person should be like a child at heart, innocent and full of joy. A child is my 20th Guru. The Arrowsmith. Once I observed an arrow maker who was totally absorbed in making the tip of an arrow. He didn't even see the procession of the king pass by. Such a focused mind and concentration is the way to achieve self-realization. The Arrowsmith is my 21st Guru. The dancing girl Pingala. There was a dancing girl called Pingala. One day she was tired of waiting for customers to come, see her dance and seek sensual pleasure. She became frustrated and one day gave up earning by this means. She realized happiness and sadness come from within and not from the attention of others. Not having expectation from people leads to contentment. Pingala is my 22nd Guru. A maiden. Once I observed a family visit a maiden's house. At that time, her mother was away, so the maiden herself had to make refreshments for the guests. She started pounding rice with a pestle. The bangles in her hand started knocking against each other, thereby creating sound. She did not like that noise because it showed that her family was poor as she herself had to pound the rice. So she removed all the bangles except two in each hand. But still they made noise. So she removed one more bangle from each hand. After that, no noise was produced. I realized that when several spiritual seekers live together, there is unwanted gossip. Only in solitude can a spiritual aspirant make progress. The maiden is hence my 23rd Guru. Caterpillar. In nature, caterpillars are formed from the eggs of a butterfly. Caterpillars are so focused on growth that they keep on eating till they form the pupa, also called a cocoon. Further, the focus on growth transforms the cocoon into a butterfly. The constant focus of the caterpillar turns it into a beautiful butterfly. Whatever form a person constantly thinks of, knowingly or unknowingly, is attained in course of time. As a person thinks, so does one become. Hence, the focus on right thoughts. The caterpillar is hence my 24th Guru. Dattatreya then said, King Yadu, as I mentioned before, the soul is my primary Guru. All these Gurus who gave me their knowledge are aspects of my own self. So it is this self, this Atman, which is not different than Brahmand, which is the true form of the Guru. At that, King Yadu fell at his feet. Accepting the king's salutations, Guru Dattatreya blessed him and continued his wanderings.